Hey there, West Dove here with Dove Development and Consulting. So, over the last little while, we've been talking about the importance of values in an organization. I gave you a textbook example of where I've seen values really lived out and how I've seen it impact the overall bottom line, the revenue, everything about the business has been fantastic because those values were so strong, so clear, and so repetitively put in place. Now, last time I talked about what values, if they're not in place, what it can really cost us in our business. And this time I want to dig into what it can look like if we're not really living those values out. Everything can really go wrong, and that's not what we're after in business. So I give a kind of a textbook example. Depending on how old you are, you may or may not remember this. I know a lot of the folks entering the workforce today, recently graduating college, may not remember this, but in 2001 there was a picture perfect example of how a company veered off course. A company had done exceedingly well, and gosh, they even had clear values in place. They had specific definitions, great definitions, I would go so far as to say, that were there. But the chase to be productive, to capture that ever so important profit, got them off track, and those values weren't doing what they needed to do. And the case I want to make, if you'll dig through this with us, is it's never an immediate choice. And I give some scenarios, some experience from my time in behavior-based safety where, gosh, I've seen so many people take massive risks in their jobs, but they never took those big risks right away. Typically and statistically, what happens is a little bit of a risk is taken, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And if we get away with it, if we're not hurt, if nobody calls attention to it, if we're rewarded by actually getting the job done faster and more effectively and so on, while we're taking those risks, we're going to keep making them. And what tends to happen is sooner or later, and if it's later, it's typically worse, some type of injury happens when in the world of safety. And that same thing happened with those values, is that they probably veered a little bit, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, until it was catastrophic for the organization that I share. So what I challenge you to do is dig into this, look at the example and say, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Values are that important in your organization. That's the case I'm trying to make here for you. Now, what we'll do next is dig into why so many folks really do miss the mark on values. Because let's be honest, most handbooks, most orientation, most boardroom walls, most bulletin boards in employee meeting areas and so on, the values are there, they're printed, they're maybe not talked about though. And we're going to look next at why we can miss the mark and really making sure that everybody understands those values, and it's something that's super clear and emphasized and understood throughout our organization. So if you've never done this, wherever you're accessing this, I would challenge you to click the link on our page, on the landing page, and walk through the video assessment that I've got that really helps you identify what might be killing some of that profitability in your organization right now. And it really is set to ask you some questions around, where are you? What's your responsibility like? Are you responsible for yourself? Are you growing in your own leadership role? Are you leading a small team? Are you responsible for a large organization? And then it gives you some tailored options based on that. We do a ton of different work, but if we can figure out where you're at, we hope we can serve you best. And some of that might be, let's just have a direct conversation and work through how we can create a tailored solution to help you capture the profitability in your organization that can only be had by leading effectively. I hope this serves you well. Make it a great day. God bless.